Hello, children. Here you go. Quarterly time. I got a little tutorial here for perspective work. We used buildings last time, but the basic thing is that anything you see that's in 2 point perspective, meaning you see the corner of a building, or in this case, the corner of a car. Okay, here's the corner. One side is over here, one side is over here. So the goal of this particular thing is we are going to move this car into this lane and make it go up this road. So right now it's not in the right perspective, and it's not going to be perfect when we're done, but it's going to be fine. Um, it's just a refresher on what we did. So here we go. So first order of business is move him over here and into the lane. Interesting to see how gigantic he is here and how little he is there. That's all a matter of perspective. Yay. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just go to edit, and we're going to go to perspective warp. So it's really just a question of clicking and dragging out a box. Okay. So the goal is now to line it up with the perspective of the car as it appears right now. So we're going to move this up to the wheel, and we're going to move this over so it kind of aligns with the back of the car. You can grab the center of a particular line and just move it out. If you grab corners, it just pulls it, it just distorts it. So we're going to bring this up to the tire, and I'm going to bring this up a little higher. So now you see these lines in the middle here? Come on. There you go. We have lines here, here, and here. So we're going to, I'm looking at this and I'm saying, okay, I need to get these lines to be parallel with the angle of the car. Okay, so we don't want it to look like, say, that, because this is certainly not in line with the way the car is angled. So you can see it right here on the bumper. So we're going to move this down a bit until they kind of line up with what we're seeing. And they seem pretty straight. Okay, and I go up a little bit above the car too. So as you can see here, um, that's good. So we're going to draw up another one by clicking and dragging. As you get close, you can see a little gray highlight possibly. But as you get close, the important thing to know is they'll just connect. You just got to get close enough. So now we take this and we move this down towards the car. So you want to make it so that the this line's pretty much with the angle of the car itself. And these lines here line up with the hood. This kind of lines up with the bumper. This kind of lines up with the angle of the window. But there is going to be some differences because this car is not, it has this weird decorative effect line, which doesn't really line up because that's a decorative effect. But as long as it kind of lines up, this line is parallel with this, and this line and this line are kind of parallel. You kind of feel it looks pretty good. Then we're done. One last tweak just to see what happens. As you kind of pull these up and down, you can kind of just get it to look about right. Now, once you're done with that, you have created a layout. Okay, we've laid out these things, and it reflects up here. This is an important thing to look at right up here, layout and warp. When we want to move the truck into the lane, into the proper perspective, we click the word warp. And then if you go down here and you go on this line, and remember this, hit the shift button. What did I say? After you hit warp, you go down to the center line here and hold down shift. It turns yellow, click, and you can see it just shifted a bit. Now, the corners of this, you start by just moving a corner of something back. So I'm moving this corner right into the road, and I'm looking at this yellow line and I'm saying, now the yellow road line here, this one, and I'm just trying to move the tires parallel with that line. Now the car is distorted, obviously, so you can slide things over a bit. you can bring each corner back until the truck, as you can see here, you can pull this forward, backwards, but you don't want to do it too much. And you want to keep it, again, when you're on this mark here, being that it's yellow, it doesn't independently do it. So you want to use these things here. You can kind of pump it up a little bit by just, you can see how this almost like inflates it. It's like, so we bring this up until it looks about right. Same thing with over here. So you feel like it looks pretty good. And again, I'm not looking for perfection, guys. I'm looking for relative perfection, okay? Which means is the antithesis of perfection. I don't want it to look terrible. And you can see how I'm just kind of tweaking things until I finally say, okay, looks good enough to me. Boom. And it's a big difference between what we had before and what we have now. So the car looks like it's in the lane. It's a little weird and distorted, but it was a very, very different angle. And that is how you do perspective with a truck in the lane. And that's what you'll have to do. On to the next tutorial.